everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And it comes with great sadness that former WWE wrestler Darren Adrian Drozdov, aka Droz, has sadly passed away at the age of 54 due to natural causes. And this comes as such a shock for me because, as a wrestling fan, it's never nice to hear about a wrestler passing away, especially at a young age, because 54 years old isn't really old. And for those of you who grew up as wrestling fans during the late 1990s, at the height of the Attitude Era, Droz sustained a neck injury which left him paralyzed after a botched wrestling maneuver during a match against D'Lo Brown, and this effectively ended his wrestling career. So Droz would pretty much end up in a wheelchair and left as a quadriplegic, which resulted in no movements below his neck, which is a real shame, really, because Droz was such a young guy to sustain such a terrible injury through no fault of D'Lo Brown. You know, accidents do happen, botches do happen. Nobody is to blame. Wrestlers take bumps every single day in the ring, so these things do happen. And this injury occurred just 5 months after the death of Owen Hart. So this was not a good time in '99, especially with everything that had happened. So for Droz to sustain such a terrible, devastating injury and have his career cut short was awful, not just for him, but for his entire family. Droz started out in ECW initially under the name of Drozzy King Lake, Darren Ripping Yarns, Laxingham, and Dee Da Def Dude. So he would be in ECW for about over a year, from 1997 to 1998, and then he would make his WWF debut in 1998, and he was kind of like the unofficial third member of the LOD. And shortly after, he would form a tag team with Prince Albert, and they would compete together in a number of matches, including a match at SummerSlam '99 in Tag Team Turmoil. And that was pretty much Droz's last pay-per-view match, as a couple months later he would compete in what turned out to be his final match, which was on SmackDown in October '99, as I mentioned, against D'Lo Brown, and he would end up paralyzed due to a botched running powerbomb that D'Lo Brown attempted. And it's a real shame. So many wrestlers that I grew up watching are all passing away, and for a guy like Droz, who never really had much of a wrestling career, it's pretty much got ended before it even took off. And he never really had much of a quality of life. But the main thing is now he's no longer suffering, he's no longer in any pain, and he's at peace. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Droz, for everything you ever did for the wrestling business, and you will be dearly missed by everyone, and may you rest in peace.